everybody! Welcome back to Storytime, all about Bigsby, my Bigfoot friend. And Bigsby, my other Bigfoot friend, is joining us. Bigsby's gonna sit here while I read his story, book number 3, Bigsby's Big News. This is also written by Jake Garr and illustrated by Bob Kohler. And it's a Hallmark book. Book 3, Bigsby's Big News, written by Jake Garr, illustrated by Bob Kohler, character and concept by Scott Swanson. There's the crazy beaver. Watch out, Bigsby might try to juggle you. No one knew about giant furry Bigsby, except for his best friends, Sam and June. It was summertime, and the 3 friends were having tons of fun playing in the forest. They had mud ball fights, played tag, juggled, joked, and danced. They also swam and splashed in the pond a lot. Bigsby couldn't get enough of the water. It probably felt nice and cool, huh? He's probably hot in the summer with all that fur. Someone else was in the forest a lot that summer too. Sam's neighbor, Mr. Jasper, spent all day in the woods trying to get proof that Bigsby was real. He searched every nook and cranny, even though Bigsby was much too big to fit in a cranny, until click! Bigsby felt a shiver up his spine. Up his back, he felt a shiver because he's been caught by Mr. Jasper. Oh no! Leaping liverwurst, Sam said. He couldn't believe it. There was a picture of Bigsby on the front page of the newspaper. At least Sam was pretty sure it was Bigsby. He looked a little chubbier than usual. Sam knew Bigsby would be worried because he was an extremely shy guy. You remember that part? Can you read it? He was an extremely shy guy. Sam found Bigsby and June in the forest. The forest was full of other people too. Sam told his friends about the story in the paper. June said, "So Bigsby's become big news." Bigsby felt a shiver up his back. He doesn't want to be discovered because he's a very shy guy, right? Sam and June decided to walk into town. They wanted to see just how bad the big news might be. Look at the bus. It says Creature Tours, and the banner says Monster Sale. Flying flapjacks, Sam yelped. There were people all over town, too. Sam, June said, Bigsby can't hide forever. We have to figure out how to stop all of this. Sam and June had a great and tricky idea. If they made people think that Mr. Jasper's picture was a fake, then maybe everyone would quit looking for the real Bigsby. But Sam and June weren't big enough to do it alone. They needed help, big time. They're going to look for help. The 3 friends would build giant look-alike furry creatures for people to find so they'd stop looking for the real one. Everything would go back to normal. Back in the forest, they measured the real Bigsby, which took a while because Bigsby was very, very ticklish. He's getting tickled by the measuring tape. After that, they searched the forest and their houses for stuff to use to build the lookalikes. By the time they were done, they had 3 Bigsby decoys that looked so much like Bigsby, the plan was sure to work. Bigsby thought his buddies were the greatest. Aren't friends just the greatest? Always willing to help out? They put the first look-alike next to the tallest tree in the forest. Even though it wasn't a real Bigsby, people were excited to find him anyway. Not Mr. Jasper, though. When he saw the look-alike creature, he was a little confused. He's probably wondering what's going on. He was so sure the one he saw was real, but this one is fake. The day after that, the second look-alike was found. swimming in the pond. It looked like it was having so much fun. The real Bigsby wanted to run out and dive in too. Bigsby couldn't get enough of the water. He loved swimming to cool off, didn't he? He couldn't because he's hiding. Because he's a very shy guy. Early the next morning, the third look-alike was found. It was doing a little window shopping right in the middle of Main Street. I wonder if they have a shirt in Bigsby's size, Sam joked. The friends thought it was very funny. See what the newspaper says? It says hoax. I think their plan is working. By the time the afternoon paper came out, the excitement was all over. The news of the Bigsby decoys had spread through town. The people who lived there went back inside. The people who didn't went back to where they were from. Sam and June's plan had worked, which was great because now Bigsby really wanted to play. That's just what the three friends were doing when Mr. Jasper bumped into them on his way home. First, Mr. Jasper thought Bigsby was a tree. Then, he thought Bigsby was another look-alike creature. Then he thought, it's him! He's real! And my camera's at home! Bigsby smiled nervously and waved. It seems like that happens to me. If I see something really interesting, I've forgotten my camera at home. So now Bigsby has been seen, for real, by Mr. Jasper. But he doesn't have a picture to prove it, does he? As Mr. Jasper ran off to get his camera, Sam and June hugged their giant furry friend. He was not a look-alike or a tree. Bigsby was real. Together, Sam and June said, "You're the best friend a kid could ever have." There goes the beaver. Wants to play soccer with them. The end. There's that pretty furry blanket. Well, Bigsby and I are so glad that you came to read another Bigsby story with us. That's book number 3. Next, we're going to read book number 4 and the next story time. I can't wait to see you then. Bye!